Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to SDN. And it's time to go to the Canadian Grand Prix, Season 5, Tier 1, Round 12 of the season. It's a little bit different this time, you might have noticed, as Jamie is not alongside me tonight. But still excited to do this. Chat. I'm your biggest fan. Love you too, man. But it's time to get going for the Canadian Grand Prix. So full qualifying. It's a bit overcast right now, but no rain in sight, as it seems, at least not for Q1. If we look at the driver standings after the Japanese Grand Prix last week, Brandt is still our championship leader, despite having a race ban early on in the season. He leads by 20 points over the Ferrari of Firebase, and 34 points over Eric and 40 points over Geiteka. So Brandt, he's got a bit of an advantage after last week's race, but can he hold on to this? Not quite sure how many races are still remaining in the championship. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, so 3 races after this one tonight, including a sprint race. So still anything can happen in the championship, and he can't afford to lose too many points or get himself another race ban. He is out on a lap, on out lap. And let's take a look at the first driver who will start their lap first. It's going to be Stefan in the Alpine. He has invalidated his out lap, but now he's going to try his first official flying lap. As we make our way into the turn 1 and 2 chicane, can cut the inside curb quite well. You have to be careful with the curb on the inside of turn 2, it can really catch you off guard. Now into what could be the trickiest chicane off the track, turns 3 and 4, very easy to get yourself a track limit there. But he navigates it quite well now flat out through turn 5 into the braking zone of turn 6. We have to be careful the curb the inside as well, both turn 6 and 7. Be careful on throttle as well. Bit of a moment on the exit. He keeps nice and tight with DRS range. 3 DRS range. This is the second one now into another chicane. This track is filled with hairpins and chicanes. Through turns 8 and 9 he goes. And now flat out to the point where Robert Kubica crashed in 2008, or 2007 I should say. Now to the turn 10 hairpin, which is really a hairpin if you look at the track map. Now on the exit, a little bit of a kink now to the back straight, all the way down through the turns 13 and 14 chicane with the Wall of Champions on the outside. Very easy to invalidate here as well as he makes his way out of it. He keeps it nice and tidy. A little bit of a brush to the wall, but his first lap time will be a valid one. A 109.4 quickly gets beaten by Ivan in the McLaren. 108.7, 7/10 of a second already ahead of the Alpine driver, but it is Q1, it's all about getting a lap time on the board, and it's easier said than done. Mike, as we can see, has invalidated his flying lap, so he was right behind his teammate Fireblaze, who is going to start his lap time now, as Brandt goes up to the front row. He's unable to beat the McLaren, just 2.5 tenths over behind the McLaren of Evanes Lucas. On 112 he's on the intermediate, so his lap times won't be representative at this stage of qualifying. Thijsie in the kick Sauber, he goes up to P4, but he's not under the 110. Says Kevin on the medium compound tire, sets a 109.0, so that seems to be quite a solid banker lap. Octavia in the Red Bull, he's gone up to 6th with a 0.4, but also in the 110th. Then we look at Robert, and he is on the medium compound tire as well. What can he do? It's usually quite strong on the mediums. A 109.3, 3 tenths behind Kevin, who has also done it on the mediums, but a good lap time. We've now got the 2 McLarens and 2 Haas drivers covering the top 4. Dominic goes into 6th place and 9.6. Not a bad lap at all. And now we will look at Mike with a lovely slipstream, and his teammate Fireblaze second in the championship. His first lap time will be into the 1.9s as well. It's going to be a 0.2, puts him just in between the 2 medium runners. What about his teammate though? Mike into the pit lane he goes, so he validated his first lap and he abandons his second lap, so not the start of the session he would have hoped for, but there's still 13 minutes remaining in the session, so plenty of time to get back out there. And start lap time, something that Geitegas is unable to do right now, because he has also invalidated his flying lap. Not sure if he has enough fuel. It doesn't seem to be any enough fuel to go for another lap, so we'll have to try again and pull into the pit lane. There he goes in the Visa Cash App RB. Geitegas still searching for his first win. He's got very close on multiple occasions this season, but never quite close enough to get himself on the top step of the podium. Can't be said for Erik, who has got 2 wins under his belt, and he's also always quite strong in qualifying. What can he do? He's currently in P13 without lap time, but he is trying to set a good lap time on the board. A high 108 should be the aim. If you can do that, you are most certainly through into the next part of qualifying. But I think even a low 0.9 would be enough at this stage to advance. On the back straight, the air is open. It's quite a long back straight, but it's all about this final chicane where you can really make or break it, and look how easy it looks from him to go through that final chicane. Across the line he goes, a 108.8, a very good lap time indeed, and I'm sure he won't have to do another lap in order to get himself through into Q2. His teammate, Ricky Jew, is invalidated his first lap. He's now trying for another lap. So let's take a look at the other Aston Martin, if he can go quicker, or at least at a lap time on the board. Eastbound has already retired from the session. He thinks that he's safe, he knows that he's safe with a 108.996. 19.4 through the first sector. Now through the corner where Carlos Sainz crashed in 2018 in his Renault. This track can catch you off guard quite easily. Now on the exit, he can also easily brush the wall, but he has kept it nice and clean so far. Looks to be a tidy lap, and hopefully get himself inside the top 10. The 2 Saubers, currently P8 and P9, they're usually in the danger zone in Q1, always struggling to get themselves out of it, but at the moment they're looking quite okay. But we know there's many drivers behind them who can go much quicker, including Mathies and Kik, yet to set a lap time. Same can be said for Geitegas and Mike. But let's take a look at the Aston Martin first. He crosses the line and splits the 2 Kik Saubers. P9 it is. Kik has just started his lap. Mike is now on a set of mediums, but I think he's on a good lap right now. Certainly has kept it within the white line so far. Will he be able to do that in the final chicane as well? We're about to find out. Yes, he does, but he hits the wall on the exit and slams to the inside wall like Kevin Magnussen did back in 2019. And once again, an invalidation for Mike and a 110.6. Either way, it would have not been a very strong lap time, but we know he had a moment in that final corner, so he's risking it all in Q1. Still under 10 minutes remaining. Ferrari without lap time on the board, as Kik is going for another warm-up lap, it seems. Mathies has invalidated as well. And what can Geitegas do? He's always strong in qualifying. He can just push out a lap immediately when he needs to. So right on board is the Visa Cash App RB through the final chicane. Oh, and he validates as well. Just crosses the white line a little bit too much. And it was going to be a 108.8. Was going to be a brilliant lap time. Would have put him inside the top 3. But he will have to try again later on in the session. Struggling right now to even get himself a lap time on the board. Kik, he did another out lap, so a 117. Surely not going to be enough, but he is trying for another lap right now. Making his way through turn 5, where Lance Stroll and Brendan Hartley crashed back in 2018. He's up by 1.3 seconds through the first sector alone. We know he backed off on his previous lap, so I think he will find time in every single sector, so it's hard to compare where he actually is compared to the other drivers. But we will find out soon enough. It does seem to be a tidy lap for the Williams driver, up by 5 seconds now through the middle sector. He's right behind, I think that's Geitegas up ahead, who is coming back into pit lane. Not going to get a slipstream from him. Hopefully not get too distracted by a car in front. Geitgas, I think, will be pulling back into the pit lane once again, or does he have enough fuel to go out? No, he doesn't. He's going back into the pit lane, so Kick has kept it within the white lines. His first lap time, first representative lap time on the board will be 109.280. Puts him in P6, and that should be enough to get him through into the next part of qualifying. What about the Alpine of Matthijs? Is he going to try again now? He certainly is. Attempting to set a lap time, 7 minutes still on the clock, but he hasn't got any ERS left. He's on lap right now. 108.9.422 puts him into P8. A few thousandths of a second ahead of Lucas and Stefan, his teammate. That might just be enough to get him through as well, but like I said, there's still 3 very quick drivers yet to set a lap time. As DVHNL, he improves to 13th place. 1.1 seconds off the provisional pole time. Laurens is back as well. He was very strong in Japan, but he has invalidated his outlap speed. No, he doesn't. So he is going to try again. This certainly is a man, a favorite for pole position. But he goes a little bit wide through turn 3. 19.0. Oh, how did he not invalidate there? As he cut the inside there of turn 6. But somehow has kept it within the white lines. And he can try and push on for the remainder of this lap. Once again, flirting with the track limits. 40.8. I think that's a very decent middle sector as well. Could he promote himself into the top 3 potentially? Into the 108s. As he makes his way down into the final chicane. And now he's pushed it too much. He crossed the line and he has invalidated. It would have been a 108.490. That is almost 3/10 clear of anyone. A magical lap time, but it's an illegal lap time. Unfortunately, he will have to try again with only 5 minutes remaining in this session. Geitgas on an outlap once again. He's been struggling so far to even get a lap time on the board. As Mommy Nick P5! What a lap from the Kick Sauber driver. We usually see him out in Q1, but surely this is going to be enough to get him through into the next part of qualifying. That is magnificent stuff from Mommy Nick there. Really out of absolutely nowhere. He's got the pace somehow with the top drivers. That's incredible. His teammate unfortunately has invalidated. But wow. Mike, Laurens, Geitgas. Geitgas has started his lap, so is Mike. He's near the end of his flying lap. He and Geitgas have struggled so far with track limits. Mike is not going to get a slipstream from his teammate, surprisingly enough, because Fireblaze was there, but he did not give his teammate any slipstream at all. Even though Fireblaze is probably safe to the next part of qualifying. As Lucas onto the front row he goes with a 0.7 as well. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment for AMS, and Mike once again with an invalidation. 109.5 would have definitely put him inside the top 12, top 11 even. And Geitgas as well. Oh my days. What is going on? Geitgas unable to find a lap time at all. The pressure is getting to him. The time pressure. The time is running out. Does he have enough fuel, or does he have to come into the pit lane again? Surely he hasn't got any new sets of tires left at this stage, because he's been out so much, and he is going to try again. This might just be his final shot, so I'm sure he hasn't got any fuel left for a lap after this one. So this lap needs to be the one. Just keep it nice and clean, just be careful. No need to risk it all in Q1. We're right on board with the Fischer Kajababi, and it looks like he is taking it quite careful now on this lap. It's not going to be the quickest lap in the world, but he knows if he just strings it together, keeps it nice, careful and clean, he should be able to get himself well inside the top 10 as his teammate Ramon has got himself now into the top 10 with a good improvement as well. Under 3 minutes remaining. And Geitegaas just needs to focus now on that final chicane. If he doesn't mess up there, should be able to get a lap time on the board. 4 drivers without a lap time. The Lawrence and Bushy Bush have joined late in the session. Final chicane, and he's finally done it. Geitegaas, well done. He's kept it within the white lines. What is his lap time gonna be? And 109.0. It's actually a pretty good lap time as well. So well done to him. He's up to P5, and that should get him through into the next part of qualifying. Lawrence is going to try again as well. This might be his final attempt. Moment in the drop zone. Thijsie, Octavia, Mike, Lawrence and Bushy Bush. But 3 of these drivers, I think, should have the pace, but Bushy Bush is finding himself in the grass at the exit of turn 1. That's not a place you want to be right now, with 1.5 minutes remaining in this session. Not sure what's going on. He's got front wing damage as well. It's a really strange activity here from the Mercedes driver. I think that pretty much confirms his exit for Q1. Must be some sort of issue with his equipment, looks like. As Lawrence, he's got 2 corners remaining. Will it be enough? He sure has the pace. And he keeps it within the white lines as well. The Red Bull driver makes his way out of the final corner, runs to the line, 109.0, and that is going to be safe to get him through into Q2. And that leaves the pressure to Mike, and he's gone onto the mediums as well. That is a big risk from the Ferrari driver, who's been unable to keep it within the white line so far in this qualifying session. But Octavia has invalidated as well. Mominick is going out as well, despite him being in P8. I'm sure he should be through into the next part of qualifying. This kick has invalidated. The flag is about to fall with 10 seconds. Mathies, he's gone up to P9. There's a Mercedes stranded at the exit of the pit lane. Kick is going back in. He's P11, but that should be safe. Lawrence, he is going to be safe as well. And then we look at the Mercedes of TVH NL. He's currently in the drop zone, P16. Just needs to find a few hundredths of a second to get himself ahead of the Aston Martin. Across the line he goes, up to P15 only. Is that going to be enough with the likes of Mike still out there on a lap? Can he do it? Ricky Zhu misses out by a few hundredths of a second. He is out for sure. Mike, what can he do with a Ferrari? Is it going to be enough to get himself through into Q2? Across the line he goes. No! Mike has missed out on Q2. He put it on a brand new set of mediums, and I'm not sure why he made that decision, because it has costed him dearly, because he's out and he's in P18. Octavia's also missed out, unfortunately. So has Thijsie, and we know that Bushy Bush TT is not going to be on a lap. No, he isn't. So that are the exits of Q1. The Aston Martin of Ricky Zhu, the Red Bull of Octavia, the Ferrari of Mike, the Kick Sauber of Thijsie, and the Mercedes of Bushy Bush TT. Those are the 5 drivers out at the first hurdle. Surprised to see Evan on top. He had a very good lap time. It's only 1 lap time for him as well. He's been quite strong so far in the last few races. He struggled, I think, in the opening few races this season, but he's really come alive as the season progressed. Welcome, Colin, to the live stream. As we wait till Mominick, but yeah, well done to Mominick. He's gone through into Q2 and he's inside the top 10 as well. Great lap time from him. And great performance so far here in Canada as we look at the final results of Q1. McLaren on top. His teammate Kevin is in P6, but he did do that on a set of mediums. And the same could be said for Robert in the Haas, but he is 6 tenths behind. The entire top 14 covered within 6 tenths of a second. There's a bit of a gap towards TVHNL, who just scraped through by the skin of his teeth, 25 thousandths to Aston Martin. And a big shock in Q1 is Mike down in P18. So we will now advance through into Q2. 15 minutes. That's 3 minutes less than in Q1. 5 different teams got eliminated in Q1. Will we see any shock exits in Q2? Yeah, that's going to be the question. The intensity will start to build, the pressure. Going out first is, I think, one of the McLarens. Might have just been, yeah, it's Kevin. This time he is, though, on a brand new set of soft tires. So he didn't use any softs in Q1, which leaves him with plenty of tire sets for the remainder of this qualifying session. Kevin already invalidating, but look how many drivers are out there. I think everyone apart from TVHNL has gone out in Q2. So very, very busy on track. Let's hope that the drivers won't be getting held up by each other due to traffic. Kevin will be the first one to attempt a flying lap. So let's ride on board with the McLaren as he makes his way out of the final 2 corners, turn 13 and 14. To the right and straight back to the left into turn 1, and another one to the right for turn 2 and an uphill acceleration zone. This can be quite tricky. Now turns 3 and 4. A very quick chicane, and he keeps it nice and tight. He hits the wall slightly on the exit, but doesn't affect his lap time too much. Now at the exit of the first sector, keeps it quite clean through turn 6. Didn't cut the chicane or cut the curb too much. Now with the help of the DRS, makes his way into turn 8 and 9 as he flirts with the track limit certainly through turn 9. And now he's got a handful of corners remaining. First up, this hairpin of turn 10. Have to be careful with rear locking, but he throws the car in. A lot of confidence from the McLaren driver on the exit, over the curb, and now flat out with the help of DRS. Speed trap is at the end of this straight, and now we've got just 2 corners remaining, which can catch a lot of drivers out, and he's already halved in Q1, but he keeps it nice and clean. And Kevin run to the line. His first lap time will be a 108.773. That's a very good bank lap indeed. I think that's quite similar to what his teammate did in Q1. Speaking of his teammate, Evan, he's gone second, just ahead of Stefan. And Laurens splitting the 2. Ramon only good enough for P5 right now, as Robert goes quickest, 108.4. 3/10 square then compared to Kevin. A very good lap indeed for his first lap on the soft compound tire. Kick in P4, his teammate P7. Fireblaze only P9. So I wonder if that is a used set of soft compound tires. Mummy Nick has gone up to P8 with a 109.2. Very close to the back of Lucas, but some of these drivers certainly will be on a set of used softs. Erik has invalidated. Isbrand is back into the pit lane. He went out on track, but he did go back in for some reason. Mathies has also invalidated, and Geitenkaas is on an outlap again. Whoa. Bit of a moment on the exit of turn 9. The big question is, will he keep it within the white lines? Because we have seen how much he struggled with that in Q1. Just over 10 minutes remaining. And we will take a look at the Visa Cash App Aubrey with a pink helmet. As he now starts his lap, runs very close to the grass on the entry of turn 1, but doesn't hit it, so the back end not stepping out. Now through turns 3 and 4, keeps it very nice and stays outside, out of the barrier on the outside. 19.1 is not the quickest that we've seen so far, but it's certainly a good first sector. Now, with the help of DRS, navigating his way through this middle part of the lap, bit of a moment as the back end wants to step out on the exit of turn 9, where we saw Lewis Hamilton hitting the wall back in 2019 during practice. Like any corner on this track can catch you out. It can be quite tricky to string a lap together. As he makes his way now into the final chicane, Geitenkaas has kept it within the white lines on his first attempt. So well done to him. His first lap time will be a 109.435, puts him in P10 and behind his teammate Ramon. So I wonder if that is a use of soft tires. I would assume that it is, because he used, I think, quite a few soft sets during the first part of qualifying. So I'm going out multiple times. Our championship leader Isbrand, he's up next. In the Haas 40.7 in sector 2 is quite strong. Will it be enough though to get ahead of his teammate Robert? Very quick through that final chicane. That was top tier confidence. He crosses the line at 108.6. Not quite in the same ballpark as Robert, but a 1.5 tenths off is a very good banker lap. Look at Erik, and he smashes the wall on the exit of turn 5 or turn 4. But a 19.0 is still a pretty good first sector. Don't think he sustained any damage after hitting the wall. The only remaining Aston Martin in this qualifying session, a 40.7. Quite a decent second sector as well. And I'm sure if he keeps it in the white lines, he will be getting well inside the top 6. Maybe potentially even into the top 3. If he nails this final chicane as well. And he goes very clean through it. Runs it narrow to the outside wall across the line at 108.6, 1,000th of a second behind Isbrand. But I'm sure that's going to be enough to get him through into Q2. There's left only one man without a lap time. That is AMS Matthijs in P15 in the Alpine. Fireblaze knows that he needs to improve. He saw his teammate getting knocked out in Q1. He really can't afford the same when he's in a championship fight. Lucas is gone second with a 0.6 as well. They're all getting close, but not as close to Robert. Still 1.5 tenths separating himself from the rest of the field. Fireblaze then second in the championship. His championship rival is currently sat in V3. Cannot afford to go out in Q2 if he wants to keep his championship aspirations alive, but he's up on his time. by a mere 1/10 of a second through sector 1. We'll have to find a little bit more time though through the remainder of the lap. He went a little bit deep, I think, into turn 8, which also compromised his exit on turn 9. He lost a bit of time actually. He's only half a tenth up now on his time, and that is definitely not going to be enough to get him through into Q2, as he will only be P12 if he finishes like this. So unless he has a magical final sector, I don't see this being enough, as Kevin gets very close to Robert's time, 8 thousandths behind. Fireblaze crosses the line, he goes speed 10. Finds time in the final sector, but he is on the bubble, and Geitegaas and Mathies are yet to improve or set a lap time. So Fireblaze is at risk of getting knocked out. And did Geitegaas just invalidate his next lap? Because in the final chicane he did. So he will not be able to improve. He's going to have to go back in. It's been a disastrous qualifying session so far for Geitegaas, because that is pretty much a ruined set of tires now. Eastbrand retires. He knows he's safe with 4.5 minutes remaining. And Mathies has backed off on his lap. Did he get held up by Ramon? Or did he make a mistake in the first few corners? I think he can try again though after this lap. Dominic also with an invalidation, and he will be going back into the pit lane. But there's still 4 minutes remaining, so it should be enough to go back out there to try and improve. He's currently in P11. He's been looking quite handy so far in this qualifying. Can he get into Q3? That will be a massive achievement for the Kick-Sauber driver. Geitegaas, he is going to try again. This might be his last shot of getting through into Q3. Just like in Q1, he left it very late to put his car outside of the danger zone. He needs to improve by at least 0.3 of a second. He's currently up by just under 1/10 of a second through sector 1. Behind him is Mathies, but we'll keep an eye out on him as well, as that will be his first representative lap time. Quite good through turns 8 and 9. He's up by 0.5 of a second. So this lap should definitely be enough. Just needs to keep his lap time legal through that final chicane, where we have seen him going just beyond the track limits through in Q1 and Q2. Oh, very huge risks taken, but this should be enough. Geitegaas to the line, he goes up into P3. And when it matters, he puts his car where it needs to be. And what about Mathies though? We've got 2 minutes to go. Should be his only lap. P12 is not going to be enough. Mathies is going to be out of qualifying, I think. He doesn't have any fuel remaining in the battery, as Laurens is gone up to P3. So Stefano's down to P10 in the other Alpine. So at the moment we've got Ramon, Mathies, Fireblaze, Mominik and TVHNL in the danger zone. And I think this is the end of qualifying for Mathies. Big shock, as he's usually quite good in qualifying as the clouds start forming over circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Fireblaze needs to improve. This is his final attempt. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Up ahead is a Haas driver, that is Robbe, who could potentially give a slipstream to Fireblaze, because Robbe doesn't need to improve on his time. He is very much safe to advance to the next part of qualifying. It's very busy in the final sector. Fireblaze is up on his time by 1.5 tenths through sector 1. What he needs is 2 tenths to be safe. Because I don't think anyone around him will be able to improve enough to knock out Fireblaze. He's up by almost 4 tenths now through sector 2, and he will be getting a very nice slipstream from Robert. So all he needs to do now is keep his Ferrari within the white lines in that final chicane. Geitengaas has retired as well. He's in P4. Playing it careful for Fireblaze. This should be enough. At the end of Q2 he goes up to P8. 2 tenths behind Robber. And he's all the way down in P8. That just illustrates how close it is between the field. Stefan is not going to be improving. Is there anyone out? The kick is down in P10. Stefan is on an improvement. Ramon is not on an improvement. He will be out along with Matthijs. Is there anything Mominik can do? He's up by 1 tenth, but he needs to find 3. TVHNL down in P15. Just scrape through Q1. And it's not going to be enough to get him through into Q3. He's in P15. So only Mominik and Stefan can do anything because Kik, he's in P10. He's into the pit lane. He will be looking over his shoulder as Mominik unable to improve. And he is P15. What about Stefan? Oh, he's lost time in the middle sector. And that's not going to be enough to get him through into Q3. And frustratingly hits the wall. So that is the end then of Q3 or Q2, which has knocked out both of the Alpines, along with Ramon, Mominik and TVHNL, and Kik just about scrapes through into the next part of qualifying. A few hundredths of a second separating himself and Stefan, the entire top 10, within 4 tenths of a second. So we wait for Fireblaze and Robbe. We'll have 12 minutes for Q3, and I wonder if there's any rain coming, because it's quite sunny through Q1. Now it's quite overcast in Q2. Good effort though from Mominik. He got into Q2. He will be starting this race from P14. Robbe is quickest in Q2, but not by much, because himself and Kevin are separated by 9 thousandths of a second. Laurens in P3, also within a tenth of a second. The entire top 7 within 2 tenths. Top 8 basically with Fireblaze as well. This should be a very spicy final part of qualifying with the gap so close. Oh, and it's raining. It is raining in Q3. So sunny in Q1, cloudy in Q2, and rain in Q3. And that is going to throw a spanner into the works then for the remainder of this qualifying session, because everyone will be on the intermediate tire. So all the lap times we've just seen in Q1 and Q2 will not be relevant at all for this final part of qualifying. So you might just see a completely different name then on top. And Robbe, who just saved 3 sets of softs, well, he's not going to be needing any of them. .12 minutes of qualifying, 2:83 runs, but should be around 2, but it's all about getting those kilometers in that track time, as these are completely different conditions compared to what we've seen so far. Amos Lucas is the first one out. Gertegaas is the last one out as he exits the pit lane. With around 10.5 minutes remaining. We're going to take a look on board with the Williams of Amos Lucas as he will navigate Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in damp conditions. Whoa, big slide on the exit of turn 14 already as he begins his first flying lap. Into turn 1, running a bit deep, a bit of a moment as well, struggling for grip. No surprises there, and that is a very tricky acceleration zone on the exit of turn 2. Runs a little bit deep as well into 3, but keeps it out of the barriers on turn 4. Flat out still through turn 5. As he throws the car in, but he slides a bit wide, and that is going to cost him dearly as well. Bit of a moment on the exit of turn 7. Now into turns 8 and 9. Seems quite good through there. Now up next is the turn 10 hairpin. Throwing the car in, a bit of a few snaps on the exit as you're also turning and accelerating at the same time. It just makes it so much more difficult to put the power down. Amos Lucas then into the final chicane. Keeps it nice and steady. His first lap time on the board in Q3 will be a 1:18.9. And let's see what the rest can do. Erik throws it on and he goes fastest. 1:18.5, 4/10 is quicker. Laurens in P3. Robert goes quicker by half a second, almost. That is a massive gap towards the rest. As Kevin with a 1:20, Isbrand with a 1:21. So they made a few errors on their laps. As Van with a 1:22. Fireblaze, he's gone up to P5. And we look at Kick, he's into P8. So quite a substantial gap between these drivers. Gertegaas will be the last one to cross the line. And a 1:18.6, a good lap time, puts him into P3. Some of these drivers can certainly go quicker. 8 minutes remaining as the Haas of Robert goes off track. Some drivers pushing on the same set of tires. But Lucas is going to pull back into the pit lane. Isbrand, Kevin, Kick and Van. Their lap times aren't representative so far, 2 to 3 seconds off. As we look at Kevin, it's not going to be an improvement. Still 1.5 seconds off. Neither is Van, but I think they are going to start their flying laps now. Kick now up to 2nd place. He's just over the 10th behind Robbe. But Robbe himself is on a lap as well. He's up by 4 thousandths of a second through sector 1, so not a big improvement. What about the McLarens though? And the Haas of Isbrand? Van did improve, but he stays in P8. So it's up to Kevin and Isbrand, and Kevin is up by 8 tenths of a second through sector 2. We'll need to find a bit more time though in the final sector to get anyone near the time of Robbe. And Robbe himself is going to go back into the pit lane. Erik improved, but not his position. Kevin, to the line he goes. And he goes quickest. by 4 thousandths of a second. And 118.93, and Eastbrand goes faster. 0.072, look how close it is. The top 3 separated by 25 thousandths of a second. With just over 5 minutes remaining in this session. It could be anyone's game here in qualifying, as drivers will start to prepare for their final runs. As neither Laurens or Eric is on the lap, and Eric into the wall. He goes on the exit of turn 9, damaging his front wing. But I don't think he was on a push lap. Are you streaming the Brock Boys race tonight? Nah, I don't think I am. I think Lemon is doing that one. So I'm not gonna double shift tonight. Yeah, Lemon should have that covered for tier 5. Laurens, surprisingly enough, stays out on the same set of tires, and he's the only one to do so with 4 minutes remaining. When he validates, so that's not going to be an improvement. He was up by 2/10 through sector 1, but this lap will not count, and he will be putting back into the pit lane, I would assume, with 4 minutes to go. Robbe going out early to potentially go for 2 laps with a cooldown lap in between, or a recharge lap on this game, as the intermediates don't really overheat. But let's see what the Haas man can do. His teammate is on pole, but only by 25 thousandths of a second. So Robbe needs to find just a few hundreds to beat the Haas of AMS Eastbrand, our championship leader. I mean, he's already up by a 10th of a second through sector 1, slides into turn 4, or turn 6. Don't think that cost him any time. Now into turn 8 and 9. Looks like a decent lap as he flirts with his track limits. Almost 2/10 up through sector 2. As we see more drivers out on track with 2.5 minutes to go. Final corner, and he keeps it nice and tidy. Robbe, how much faster can he go? He goes to the top by 0.5 of a second, 1:17.5. What a magical lap time near the end of this qualifying. Fireblaze up by 0.3 of a second. Van is up by 0.6 of a second, but that's not going to be enough at all to get anywhere near the times of Robbe. Van now to the line he goes. It's going to be a good improvement into P5. He's 0.9 behind. As Erik, he's left it very, very late to go out. 1 minute and 36 seconds as he exits the pit lane. It's going to be a quick outlap for him. Fireblaze 0.5 up. Can he find any more in the final sector? He can, and puts it into P5, 0.7 behind the Belgian of Robbe. Geitenkaas then. What can he do? A 1:17.908 onto the front row. And Eastbrand is going to go for another outlap, it seems. Now we look at Kevin. He's up by almost 0.3 of a second. Needs to find a few more in the final sector in order to match or beat the lap time of Robbe. Lucas has invalidated. So we will look at the McLaren driver as he makes his way out of the final chicane. Can he get anyone near the time of Robbe? He crosses the line. He misses out by 1.5 tenths. And instead Robbe then on pole position. He's improving on his time even more now. Almost 2 tenths up through sector 1. I don't think anyone is able to beat the Haas driver. His teammate is about to start his final flying lap as well. And so is Erik. Fireblaze should be able to do one in time as well. With 4 seconds, 3 seconds on the clock, he crosses the line to start his final flying lap. The flag has fallen. Geitegaas will be no higher than P3 on the grid. Couldn't improve on this lap. We'll have to hope that not many drivers behind him are going to be improving. Robbe is going even faster. Can he even go into the 116th? No, he can't. He misses out because he invalidates in the final chicane. What was this lap time gonna be? As he crosses the line. Not representative Lammers, he hits the wall. 17.0. The monster lap time. We look at Laurens. Laurens goes ahead. 17.331 out of nowhere. Puts his Red Bull on pole position as Lucas is unable to improve. Kevin into the pit lane. What about Eastbrand? What about Kick? As he makes his way out of the final corner. Kick to the line he goes. Kick goes up the pole. A 117.310 out of nowhere. Puts his Williams on the front row. Look at Eastbrand. Can he go faster? Yes, he can. A 117.128. And Eastbrand is on pole as Erik. He goes into second place. And we now look at Fireblaze. And Fireblaze onto the front row. Wow, what a lap times in the end. With plenty of improvements. And Robbe has, in validation, has ruined his chances. Because he is down in P6. And his lap time would have been a 17.0 and would have been enough to put him on pole position, but he just couldn't keep it within the white lines, and he will be lining up in P6 while his teammate Eastbrand is on pole position ahead of Fireblaze. So the two championship protagonists at this moment, first and second in the championship, first and second on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix, Erik and Kick on the second row, Laurens and Robbe on the third row. Then it's Kevin and Nevada, two McLarens, 7 and 8. And Geitegaas and Lucas rounding out the top 10. Incredible qualifying session. Should make up for an incredible race as well. We are going to have 36 laps around the Canadian circuit. Strategy-wise, should be looking at a pretty normal medium-hard, hard-medium strategy. And as we look at it, oh, we're already going ready. No formation lap. 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix. And the lights are out and we're on the way already for 35 laps ahead of us as Eastbrand takes the lead into turn 1. He's on the hard compound tires, so we see Fireblaze and Kick going wheel to wheel. The Fireblaze stays ahead of the Williams on the medium compound tire. Then it's Erik and P4. Robbe already made up a place. Up to P5, he finds himself wheel to wheel with the Red Bull into turn 4 and he gets ahead of Laurens. P5 it is. Then it's Kevin. Lucas with 2 places gained. He got on to the mediums as well. Then it's Avan and Geitegaas down in P10. A bit of a moves in the background as well. As we go 2-3 wide. As Mike losing out a bit as he's ghosted. And the Mercedes up ahead losing a lot of time. That's TVHNL down to P17. As Laurens finds himself finding it out with Kevin. And he goes off track through turn 8 and 9. Will he have to give the position back? as he is going wheel to wheel, and someone else going wheel to wheel. Up the inside goes Kick on Fireblaze, but Fireblaze has the better traction around the outside, and he stays in second place behind there, fighting almost 3 wide there, with Laurens dropping all the way down to P9. The two McLarens now find themselves wheel to wheel, P7 and 8, as we near the end of the first lap. Laurens still having to go up the inside in the final chicane, surely not, and he gets up 3-second time penalty already into the wall. He goes with Kevin, and you could have seen that coming from miles away as Geitenkaas promotes himself to P8 ahead of Stefan, as Laurens and Kevin fight it out on the opening lap. Kevin now does get ahead of the McLaren, but they're still going wheel to wheel. The McLaren is on the mediums, the Red Bull on the hards. More contact between the two of them. Kevin now into the wall on the exit of turn 5, and they're down to P10 and 11. Mathies then in that train as well, he's in P13, just behind Ramon. But at the front, it is Eastbound who has remained in the lead of this race. If you look at the tires, he is on the hards compound tires allowance already with a 6-second time penalty. Eastbound and Fireblaze on the hards, as Bushy TT has had a moment. He has dropped down all the way down to P19. And Mommy Nick, what has happened to him? Qualified in P14 and he finds himself down in P20. Kick now does get ahead of Fireblaze, and he is on the medium, so he wants to get up the order as high as possible in the opening stages of this race. And he has just done that, because he's now in second place and he's in hot pursuit of Eastbrand. Wheel to wheel, we see Octavia and Rekeju. Aston Martin on the inside, the Red Bull on the outside. Surely won't want to go side by side through this corner. The Red Bull has been a moment on the exit and drops down a few positions down to P19 as he made contact with the Aston Martin. And this train led by the Aston Martin is already outside of the DRS range of the cars in front. Mike in P14 started in P18, and he's also struggling to stay within the DRS range of the entire top 13. And up the inside goes Stefan, and so does Kevin on Laurens. These two aren't done yet. It's getting heated between the Red Bull and the McLaren. And up ahead we see Kick taking the lead of this race. He's got past Eastbrand, and onto lap 4 the Williams is out in front on the medium compound tire, but it's very difficult to build a gap with these around this track with 3 DRS zones. As we go wheel to wheel, Laurens getting past Stefan, and he's now up into P9. The Alpine relegated down to 10. The car behind him is Kevin, both on the mediums. We know that Kevin does have the pace. Nice helicopter shot. Robbe still in P5, but very much in the fight as Fireblaze just ran a little bit wide, as Kevin now also picks up a 3-second time penalty. And that is Robbe up the inside of Erik into the hairpin, and he gets the job done up at the P4. Already looking very close to the back of Fireblaze. Kick still leading by 0.3 of a second as we go on to lap 5. It's a long way to go, and in the background Lucas has got past Erik, and he's now up into P5. Now already having a look at Robbe. Lucas is on the medium compound tire, so it should be quicker at this stage of this race. Both of the Williams opting for the medium as their starting tire, and something's happened in the background. That is Mathies and Octavia both have gone off, and a safety car has been deployed on lap 5. The Alpine finds himself without a front wing, and Octavia was also in the one. He's also got front wing damage. So on lap 5, is that too early for the medium runners? Or are they gonna gamble and put on a hard set to potentially make it to the end of the race. It is a predicament, but I reckon we're gonna see a few drivers putting into the pit lane. But Kik is not one of them. He is staying out. But Stefan and Kevin, both of them are going in from the mediums. And they will be going on to the hards, undoubtedly, as Ricky Ju picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Matisse has retired, also picking up a drive-through penalty in the process. While Stefan and Kevin putting on a brand new set of hards. And so does the Aston Martin, the Mercedes of TVHNL and Octavia, forced to replace his front wing. Also going on to a set of mediums. So 5 drivers have pitted under the safety car. The rest of them have stayed out, including 4 medium runners. Taisi, Evan, and 2 Williams of Lucas and Kik. Kik still very much in the lead of this race. But this will help him to save his tires. It's certainly going to be interesting to see what Stefan and Kevin can do. Are they going to be able to finish the race on these tires? But they will be very worn out then at the end. We'll have to keep an eye out. They also will have to deal with a lot of traffic ahead. Do one more lap under safety conditions, and Ricky Ju is going to pit once more, and I think he is going to try and remove his 10-second time penalty just picked up on the previous lap. He certainly is. It will mean though that he is going back onto mediums. Let's wait a whole 10 seconds. Doesn't matter too much though, because we are under safety car conditions. Kik out in front. But for how long will he have the tire advantage? Will probably be extended by a few laps because of this safety car. As they're desperately trying to get some temperature into the tires, it has become very difficult to warm up the tires. After they patched the AI warming up the tires. We're at the end of lap 7. And the safety car is going back in. As the Aston Martin has caught back up. I'm not sure what Stefan was doing. He's almost sideways into the braking zone of turn 10. But he has remained in 15th place. And it will be up to the Williams of Kik to decide the pace on this safety car restart. And he's gone on lap 7. We will go back to green flag racing as we go on to lap 8. Kik leads ahead of East Front. And already having a look up to turn 1 is Lucas making contact with Robbe as Lucas just hit the rear left tire of the Haas. But fortunately, they keep pointing in the right direction. And we also see Laurens and Evan going wheel to wheel. The McLaren almost squeezed into the wall on the exit. Laurens been having a lovely time with the 2 McLarens. And that's also Geitekas now on the inside of Evan trying to improve. But he has a moment on the exit, losing the back end. And has to stay into B9 for now. We see Laurens now another penalty, and so does Ramon, and so does Kevin. As the penalties start coming in nice and fast in this Canadian Grand Prix. And as the McLaren at the inside, Kevin gets past Mommy Nick. He's also got past Stefan already. He's now up to P14. But he does have a 6-second time penalty. Indeed he does. Stefan now getting past as well as the Mercedes gets past the Sauber in front for P12. DRS has been enabled on lap 9. And on the move for Kevin up the inside of Thijsie. And he's now up at the P13. McLaren on the charge on a new set of mediums or a new set of hards. The entire top 9 within DRS range. Ramon is on the brink of losing out. That connection just within DRS range now. TVHNL already has dropped out as Mominik has had a moment on the exit of turn 9 and he drops down to P18. So all the good work that he's done in qualifying is slowly becoming undone in the race. She's now in P18. And Eastbrand has taken the lead of this race, got back ahead of Kick. Ramon having a look at the Ferrari of Mike, and Mike is out of the DRS range. He got past the V-Car, but is now 1.4 behind Geitegaas. Kevin is already up to P12, has found a way past the Mercedes as Laurens gets ahead of Erik as they go wheel to wheel, and Erik is now down to P7. Red Bull ahead of the Aston Martin. Kevin up to P11. That's a move up the inside almost from Stefan. But he thinks the better of it, while Thijsie and Octavia make contact. The Red Bull almost into the wall on the exit of turn 9. But he keeps it out of the barrier. But he drops down to P18. And he's also picked up a 3-second time penalty. Base advantage seems to be for the hard runners. His Kick is down to 7/10 behind Eastbrand, but still very much within DRS range. Erik having a look, while Kevin is into the top 10 now. As Geitegaas picks up a 3-second time penalty. Kevin is into the top 10, he's got ahead of Mike. Now can chase after the leading group of the top 9 who are yet to pit in this race. Whoa, and Octavia into the wall. Oh, and someone else, Thijsie as well, on the exit of turn 2, and he's got front wing damage. Both of his end plates missing. The Sauber driver finds the wall on lap 11 and down to P19. Eastbrand, 4/10 of a second, as the other V-Car also picks up a penalty now. It's just a big train, all the way down to P10, as Kevin has now got within DRS range of Geitegaas. Stefan up to P13. He's got ahead of Bushy Bush, TT, and Kick is going for the race lead once more. He's got ahead of Eastbrand, but the Haas is very close to the back, almost pushing him through the corner. But the Williams deploying a bit of ERS to stay ahead. Into turn 1 we go, a bit of contact. That's a Red Bull of the inside. Laurens finding himself wheel to wheel with Lucas. Round the outside he goes, and he's just got the tire advantage. Lucas still on the mediums. His mediums slowly starting to fade, and Laurens goes nicely round the outside to get himself inside the top 5. And that is a van now wheel to wheel with Geitegaas. Geitegaas trying to get past, once again having a moment, and now he's under pressure from the other McLaren of Kevin. Just staying ahead for now. Oh, the Aston Martin of Erik up the inside of Lucas. But Lucas, despite his tire disadvantage, is able to get the traction and pull in front of the Aston Martin. But Erik now, with the help of some ERS, is going to try and get past as Eastbrand retakes the lead of this race. Erik having a look But unable to go for it. Oh, and Lucas hits the back of Laurens as he went straight on into the pit lane. Just completely forgot that there was a car ahead of him. Just did not brake at all. And straight off hit the Red Bull of Laurens. That was a very, very silly mistake there from Lucas. Not sure what the thought was behind that. But it just straight rammed off the Red Bull driver. Lucas into the pit lane on the hards, and Laurens out of frustration, and not unsurprisingly has retired from this session. Whereas Indigo, he is unfortunately not alongside me tonight. He had a birthday party of his friend, so couldn't be here tonight. So I had to take over, but I'm sure he will be back next week. Yellow flags are out, and that's another Red Bull finding the wall. And this time it's Octavia finding the wall not once, not twice, but 3 times now, as he spins around. Disastrous race for the Austrian team. Kick still staying out on the mediums. Octavia now also retired from the session, so double DNF for Red Bull. We're on lap 14, 21 laps to go after this one. And when it's Kick, Red Bull into the pit lane, he is starting to show signs of tire race down to P4 behind Robbe and Fireblaze. Fireblaze now in a Haas sandwich. Kevin up the off lap, he's now to P7. Mike now wheel to wheel almost with Ramon and Stefan as we make a contact on the back straight. Fireblaze has taken the lead of this race. He got ahead of Isbrand. Kick is putting into the pit lane now from the medium compound tire. Kevin is going to get ahead of Geitekaas into turn 1 up into P5. And where's Kick going to come out compared to his teammate? Lucas making his way onto the start finish straight now. He is going to get ahead of Kick momentarily, but the King Kick will have the pit lane exit, which is flat out into turn 1, but he is going to be behind. And behind Evan as well. So the undercut has worked for both Lucas and Evan, as they are both ahead of the former race leader. Yellow flags out once more. I'm not sure what it is for. I think that is Bushibus TT, it is, who finds the wall on the exit of turn 9. A lot of drivers struggling with the turn 8 and 9 chicane. The Mercedes driver, another victim, finding the wall, and he's got front wing damage for good measure. Isbrand has retaken the lead of this race ahead of Fireblaze. Another driver spinning around is Ticey in the Sauber, not having a great race either. "20 laps to go. Isbrand in the lead, with Fireblaze, Robbe, Erik, Kevin and Geitekaas chasing him from behind, and Kevin is looking to get past Erik at the inside of turn 8. Later on the brakes, puts his car alongside. Erik is forced to go off. The McLaren still holding on around the outside. If you now go wheel to wheel towards turn 10 into the hairpin, the McLaren on the inside has the tire advantage and is going to get ahead. He is on the exit. Kevin up into P4 ahead of Erik and Geitekaas. We don't know if Kevin is going to have to pit again, as Fireblaze once again pulls alongside and retakes the lead of this race on lap 16. Erik momentarily under a bit of pressure, but he actually is. Geitekaas has got past him as well now. And the two Haas cars are about to swap. Robbe up the inside of his teammate. Eastbrand and Robben now into second place. Eastbrand drops down to third. Around halfway into this race. And the Ferrari of Fireblaze is in the lead of this race. His championship rival Eastbrand is very close to him in P3. Eric in the Aston Martin is in P6, but two cars in front of him have got a penalty. As Robben now takes the lead of this race on lap 17, a new race leader. He's got ahead of Fireblaze and he is going to drop down the other Haas as well. Eastbound up the inside, we go wheel to wheel into turn 1. Fireblaze fighting against the Haas. Now it's almost 3 wide with Kevin on the inside as well. Eastbound gets ahead, so does Kevin. Oh, bit of contact. Robben picks up a penalty as Kevin and Fireblaze go wheel to wheel. Eastbound at the second place. There's more contact in the back as Fireblaze all the way dropped down, all the way down to P4 now. Almost P5 with Geitengas up the inside. But crucially, Robben has picked up a 3-second time penalty. And that is going to hurt his chances of winning this race. Although he's almost got his teammate outside of the DRS window. Geitengas with a 3-second time penalty as well, as Eastbrand deploys a little bit of ERS to stay with him. But Fireblaze, he's down to P4 as he got shuffled back on this lap. But he's still in this leading group as Kevin is going to get ahead of Eastbrand. He's up into second place despite having made a pit stop. He was down to P14, I think, P15. After he made his pit stop, he now finds himself near the race lead in P2. Geitengas gets ahead of Fireblaze, dropping down to P5 now. As we go on to lap 19. And that is Erik now up the inside as well. So Fireblaze from P1 a lap ago is now under threat of dropping down to P6. Something's gone on, and Ramon, I think, has hit the wall of champions because he has got front wing damage. There's an end plate missing on either side of his front wing. It's just a plank right now, as nothing remaining on the structure of his front wing. And he's down to P13. It's the Sauber of Mominik into the pit lane. Robben very much on the pressure from Kevin. And he is going to get ahead, Kevin, from P15 to P1 in 12 laps time. Kevin into the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. And Fireblaze is got ahead of Geitengas, but Geitengas is going to the pit lane on lap 20. That's quite early from hards to mediums. We'll have to do 15 laps, but that should be possible. Because the Williams drivers, they went so much earlier, remember, who started on the mediums, and Kevin with another 3-second time penalty. Yeah, the Williams drivers kick at least did 15 laps on mediums, although with a safety car. Still quite early, but looking to make the undercut work is Geitengas. Fireblaze on the edge of dropping out of the ERS range. Have to deploy a bit of ERS to stay with the leading 3. As Robben is going to retake the lead of this race. Gets ahead of Kevin. And Mike is the next one to pull into the pit lane from the hard compound tire on lap 21. Putting on a set of mediums to go to the end. two Williams drivers and a van still very much working together. They are around 12-13 seconds behind the leading group. So they will be a few seconds ahead when the top 5 pit. In fact, Geitenkaas, he's just behind these drivers by 1.2. But has the tire advantage. And so will the top 5. Erik unfortunately picks up a 3-second time penalty. So only Fireblaze and Eastrand from the leading group have not picked up a penalty yet. The two men in the lead of the championship as Kevin re-inherits the lead of this race, and Robbe is going to go into the pit lane, and so is Fireblaze, as he almost went sideways there. Erik into the pit lane as well on lap 22. Where are they going to come out compared to Kik, Lucas, Ivan, Geitenkaas? Onto mediums they go, and Robbe dropping behind Fireblaze. I swear he got into the pit lane ahead of the Ferrari, but he's got out behind for some reason. But Fireblaze is going to get ahead of that Mercedes, so is Robbe. Erik is just behind. But they are 2.5 seconds behind Geitenkaas, and around 3.5 seconds behind the Williams pair and Ivan. Erik clears the Mercedes as soon as possible. As Kevin got a 1.5 second advantage. And what has happened to Stefan? Stefan has gone off in the Alpine in turn 9 as well. And he drops down to P7. He pitted along with Kevin under that safety car procedure. But his good work has become undone, because he's all the way down to P7. Just ahead of Fireblaze, just finding himself wheel to wheel with Robbe, and Robbe is going to get ahead as the two Williams drivers swap positions. Eastrand pulls into the pit lane to go on to the mediums, and where is he going to come out? The last one to pit. Behind Geitenkaas, and behind... Is he going to be behind Robbe and Fireblaze? It's going to be very close on the pit exit. He's going to be wheel to wheel with his teammate. He's going to slot in between himself, between Robbe and Fireblaze. That is incredible timing there. Robbe just ahead of Eastrand and Fireblaze. Look how close these four drivers are as they are chasing Stefan in front, who goes off into the wall in the Alpine. And once again, the Alpine of Stefan has gone off, and a virtual safety car has been deployed. And that might just be incredible news for Kevin, who could pit onto mediums and call out ahead of everyone else. This should be a golden opportunity for the McLaren driver, and he is going to make use of it. But he picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh man, how can you destroy your chances like that? Onto mediums he goes. That is far from ideal. And Lucas with a drive-through penalty. Kick into the pit lane. A van into the pit lane. Major penalties for major drivers in this race. Kevin is getting out ahead of Geitenkaas, but I think he has a 16-second time penalty. A 19-second time penalty, yeah. Oh, it's actually full safety car. It is a full safety car, so I didn't quite see that. As Mominik also with a drive-through penalty. We know that it is a bit glitched around Canada, where if you go to the pit lane with negative delta, you will automatically pick up a drive-through penalty. As some drivers opting for softs for 12 laps. But so it is a full safety car, and this could become very, very interesting. Second safety car of this race. It says virtual safety car, but sure isn't, because we see Bernd Mailander in the Aston Martin at the front of the field. Everyone is brought back in contention. Lucas, Avan and Kik on a brand new set of tires, P8, 9 and 10. Kevin in the lead on a brand new set of tires, but we know he's got a 19-second penalty, so he's absolutely no chance of winning this race. As Kevin serves his 10-second time penalty. And he goes on to softs, but he still has a 9-second time penalty, so yeah, his chances of winning are near enough zero, unfortunately, for the McLaren driver. It's been looking very quick. Presumably the safety car will go in at the end of this lap, meaning we will have 10 laps remaining in this race. It's going to be a sprint race. Or a marathon, if you're Lewis Hamilton. Geitenkaas will lead the way, but he is on the oldest tires in the entire field. 5 laps on these mediums. And Robert behind him, he's got mediums 2 laps younger. And he's around 3 laps younger. Is Dicey gonna close the gap on this lap? Yes, he is. Safety car in this lap. It's quite a late call. But we are gonna go back to racing in a few moments' time. And now it's up to Geitenkaas to decide the pace. He's got a penalty, so has Robert. So has got Eastbrand the best chances of winning this race. It could be 5 minutes, all bunching up in the background. Almost 2-3 wide, but we're going back to green flag racing. Geitenkaas is in the lead. We already go wheel to wheel to turn 1 with Eric and Mike side by side. Mike up at the P5. As yellow flags are out in the background. Not sure who's gone off. I think it must have been the Aston Martin of Ricky Jew. It's down to P17. Lucas already have a look, but I think Lucas is one of the drivers with a drive-through penalty. Yeah, so he will have to go into the pit lane within 3 laps. So he is pretty much out of contention as well. Very, very unlucky. Whoa, Kevin nearly into the back of Kick. 2 McLarens with 2 Williams drivers, covering P7 to P10. Kevin is on the softs, will be wanting to move forward as soon as possible, and he's going to get ahead of Kick already on this lap. And he's up into P9. And Robert with another 3-second time penalty. Lucas into the pit lane. Kevin now looking to get past his teammate. Van, DRS has been enabled. Kick is almost pushing Kevin on the main straight. But Robert, it's very unlikely for him to win this race now. 6 seconds. Not sure if he's going to be able to remove any, but that will probably only be one of his penalties. As the Mercedes of Bushy Bush TT has found the wall on the exit of turn 2. Eric is going wheel to wheel with Mike, all with contact between the two, and Eric round the outside. He's now up into 5th place. Going off is Kevin in turn 8. But no damage done. Very close to the back of his teammate though. And Mike is in a very handy position as well, as we're going to see a lead change. Robert gets ahead of Geitenkaas. Got 8 laps to go. And Eastbound is close to the back of Geitenkaas, and he can pull to the inside on the main straight, and he's going to get ahead, and he sets the fastest lap in the process. But quickly gets replaced there by Kevin, who is on the soft compound tire, and he's going to get past his teammate Van to see himself up into 7th place, as the Mercedes of Bushy Bush TT has retired from the session. making it 4 retirements. As Mominek also having to serve his drive-through penalty down in P16 with Lucas. Seven laps to go. The two Haskars are in the lead. But will they hold on? Williams and Ferrari are tied on points, just like in real life. But at the moment Ferrari seem to have the upper hand, with both of their drivers not having a 3-second time penalty, but to be fair to Kick, neither has he. Kevin with a fastest lap of the race. Kevin is going to go up the inside of Mike, and Kevin is able to be 6 to try and chase after. The cars in front is Lucas, for good measure, picking up a 3-second time penalty. Unlikely that he is going to score points tonight. Stefan now also with another 3-second penalty. Only 5 drivers without a penalty. Eastbrand, Fireblaze, Mike, Kick and TVHNL. A long train of cars, and on the inside sending it is Stefan and Ivan. But he's unable to make it work as the two Haas drivers swapping positions. Eastbrand into the lead with 6 laps to go. And he's got no track limit penalty. So hoping that his teammate could help him out here. But Geitegas is going to try and get past. Rob up the inside into turn 1 as we go wheel to wheel. But have contact between the two. Geitegas trying to go the long way around the outside. But the better traction is there for Robbe. And he stays in front of the RB so far. As Ricky Jew has found the wall. And Kevin picks up another 3-second time penalty, making it 12 for him. Running in 6th position. Five laps to go. Eastbound leads by 0.8 of a second to Robbe. And this could become a very good day for our championship leader to pick up another win in this championship fight. His rival Fireblaze will likely finish in 2nd place if he keeps it within the white lines for the remainder of this race. But that does mean that Eastbound will extend his lead by another 7 points to what will be 27 in total if he finishes first and Fireblaze finishes in 2nd. That does mean though that he will have an entire race win advantage, as Reika Ju is picking up 10-second time penalties for the left, right and center. And as he pulls into the pit lane, he's out of this race. And oh, Fireblaze, just as I said it, has picked up a 3-second time penalty, and that is limiting his chances. Well, he's still going to be ahead of Geitegas and Robbe. They both have a 6-second time penalty, but he is under threat though from Kick behind in P7, and even his teammate Mike, who is in P8. As those two drivers have not got a penalty, as Robbe retakes the lead of this race, gets ahead of Eastbrand. Geitegas under massive pressure in P3. And Fireblaze looking to get past, but not on this occasion. On to lap 32 of 35 we go. 4 laps to go. As Geitegas is struggling to hold on to the two Haas cars. He's got the oldest tires of the field, and it's showing the effects. because he's outside of DRS range. He's still got the DRS, but the gap is 1.2, and two Haas drivers seem to be working together, which could help Robbe in finishing in second place potentially, if they manage to put out a 3-second gap towards Fireblaze. Kick is looking to try and find way past Kevin as the two Haas cars positions once again. That is Stefan having a look up the inside of Mike into the final chicane. Surely not. No, he can't. Mike stays ahead. Another 3-second time penalty for Kevin, making it 15 seconds. That is going to drop him down all the way down, probably outside the top 10 as Fireblaze. Crucially gets ahead now of Geitenkaas. There's a bit of contact between Erik, Kevin and Kik, but they all keep it pointing in the right direction. As we've got 3 laps to go. This should be an easy victory for Isbrand, because I don't think his teammate Robbe will make it very difficult. And Mike is out of the race, he's out of the race, and Ramon and Stefan, they're all 3 of them are into the wall. And what has happened then between these 3 in turn 6 or 7? And also pointing in the wrong direction, that is Stefan once again. But big drama at the end of this race. And Mike was running in such a good position without a track limit penalty. Is out of nowhere out of the Canadian Grand Prix. Geitenkaas gets ahead of Fireblaze while Kevin is looking to find a way past. Kik and Stefan also out of the race now. It's a race of attrition at this point, as we got 6 DNFs. 7 in fact. Dominic will be in P13 as Thijsie gets ahead of TVHNL to get himself into the top 10, but TVHNL has not got a penalty, so he will be securing that point. In the meantime, we are on the penultimate lap of this race. Isbrand 3/10 towards Robbe, and 1.5 seconds is the gap they have towards Geitenkaas and Erik. Erik quite close to the back, but they can't afford to drop down 3 seconds to Robbe. Especially for Firebase and Kik, but the gap's now already 2 seconds, so Haas might just secure a 1-2 finish, as Erik is going to get out of Geitenkaas, but I don't think they're going to get a 6 seconds gap towards Kik. It's still 3 seconds right now, so at the moment Kik would still finish in second place. On to the final lap of this race. Robbe is in the lead. He's got his teammate for company in second place. Robbe with a 6-second time penalty. Erik is over the P3. I completely forgot, but Erik is looking at a potential second place. Geitenkaas has now picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. He's got 9 seconds after that. This could become very close at the end with Robbe. Where is he going to come out? Is he going to get on the podium? I'm not quite sure. He's got 2 seconds to Erik. I think Kik is also still within 6 seconds. Into the hairpin we go for the final time. And onto the final straight. Robbe leads, but Isbrand is going to get ahead of his teammate, our championship leader, looking to secure another win this season. 2 corners to go. Isbrand into the final chicane on lap 35 of 35. And he's going to come across the line to win the Canadian Grand Prix. Isbrand wins and extends his championship lead. Erik will finish in P3 behind Kik, who finishes second. Erik in P3, Fireblaze in P4, 1/10 of a second ahead of Robbe, who eventually will be in P5 after penalties applied. Van in 6th position, Geitenkaas, Kevin in P8, Lucas in 9, Thijsie in 10, but they both drop down to P10-11 as TVHNL, picking up 2 points for Mercedes in P9. Ramon in P12, and Dominic will eventually finish in P13, 7 DNFs. Quite a hectic race so far, but A strong performance from Eastbound must be said. One of the few drivers to not pick up a 3-second time penalty, only himself and Kick and TVHNL. But Eastbound and Kick would have won too because of that. And Eastbound will be satisfied to extend this lead by a further 13 points towards Fireblaze. So Eastbound will lead now by 33 points. Going into these final 3 races, putting one hand on the championship trophy. But what a race we have seen, with plenty of drama and incidents and plenty of great battles as well. But it is the Haas driver on top once again this season. Kik and Erik alongside him, making it a complete podium for AMS. As here we have the final results then. Eastbound wins with a dominant performance ahead of Kik. Erik in P3, Fireblaze has to settle for P4. If he didn't get that 3-second time penalty in the end, he would have got second place. Robbe in P5, Evan in 6th, Gertica 7th, Kevin in 8th will get an extra point for the fastest lap, but I'm sure he won't be too excited with that. He's on P8 with a 15-second penalty. TVHNL 9th and Lucas with the final point in 10th position. That sees the end then of the Canadian Grand Prix tonight. 3 rounds to go in this championship, season 5 of SDN. Next up is the Spanish Grand Prix next week at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. After that, we've got a sprint race at Las Vegas, and the season finale will be held in Interlagos, Brazil. But next week we've got Spain. And this will be it from me tonight. Hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully Jamie will be back next week to complete the commentary lineup. But that's it for now, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good evening and good night.